Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Theory of a Blind Man. I am your host, Whistler. And joining me today is Joe Quirk. And before we get our special guest in here, actually, let me check if he's in the backstage. We will discuss a little bit about veterans like Joe here, as well as blind advocacy work.
Not again.
Yes, again.
Doubles.
So I did send him an email. So hopefully he'll be here soon. Okay, there's my camera. So yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome. Oh, let me get my chat ready. Don't want to forget that. Oh, there's already a comment. Let me hit that up. Once Bill gets in here, guys, I'm gonna answer the chat at certain points, so we can just really focus on Bill and what he's got to say and what the message is. Let's see who's here. StreamYard is here. Okay, cool. Thanks. Roman is here. Hello, sir. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it.
Roman.
Okay. So yeah, let me kill this Grand Theft Auto. Not really. I need some military. I need some like I don't even know. Taps.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's been quite some time since I first interviewed you, Joe, back on what was it, Labor Day? I think it was. No, Memorial Day.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And so that's when we first got connected. It was my first interview with you, and we discussed a little bit about your military. Not too much. We kind of got into the whole game thing.
Circus master.
Yeah. So Roman is a good example. He's a new subscriber. And so for all the other new subscribers, we'll go about your background for a bit until Bill gets here. And yeah, we'll go from there. So you were in the military. What branch were you in?
I was in the Navy for 4 years, and then
Cool.
I got out and I joined the Air National Guard in New Orleans for about 2 years before, and then Katrina happened and kind of voided my contract. So I moved from New Orleans to California, back to California,
Okay.
into Vegas.
When you're in, you said the Air Reserve.
Air National Guard.
So National Guard. Oh, National Guard.
Air Force, yeah, it's like Air Force Reserve kind of thing.
But you have 6 years combined, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean you get, what is that, honor or medal for 6 years?
Oh, you don't get a medal for time in service.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of people talking about it. It's like excellent service or something where you get no write-ups, you get no court martials or
Good
whatever.
conduct. You get a
Yeah, the good conduct
yeah.
award.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Cool. I think this is him. Oh, no.
Doubles.
It was YouTube let me know I'm live on my channel. Thanks, YouTube. Speaking of Mr. Boules, he is in the backstage right now.
All right.
Before we get to him, or should we just jump right into him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Doubles.
Let's pull him in. Come on, links. Thank you. Here we go. Alrighty, Bill. Are you there and can you hear us? We cannot hear you, Bill.
Do you want me to jump out and jump back in?
No, usually I can hear everybody.
Okay.
It's usually you or the third person that can't hear the second person.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Bill, if you could, go ahead and leave the studio and then come back in. I'm not quite sure.
How's it now?
There we go.
Yeah, it said that my mic was muted. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys?
Good.
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Oh,
Doubles.
what's happening, brother?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Awesome. Yeah, so I had a brief moment to go through your website. The first thing I saw was the recipient of Excellence AR Dominion Award. What is that?
That's an award we got last year for a live show that I do every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time called The Field of Vision.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
on the field of vision, we talk about all things that are affecting the blindness and low vision community. So we talk about technology. We talk about O&M skills. We talk about legislature, all sorts of things that are happening in our world. We discuss, and we do it openly. We do it with honesty. We don't hold back. You know, a lot of shows have to be careful because they have sponsors from like other assistive technology companies or whatever. We don't have sponsors to answer to. The sponsors that we answer to are the people that listen, and the people that share the information on the field of vision. And I've been doing it for a while, and I love it. So it also gives me an opportunity to kind of let loose a little bit, working in this field is very, very stressful, and sometimes being able to turn on a microphone and talk to people that will listen, about some of the stuff that you're going through is very therapeutic. As long as you do it with honesty and you're not going on there to like bash your coworkers or whatever, and I don't do that. That's not my thing. Like, I'm not bashing anybody. I will honestly talk about some of the problems that we have in our field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
venting relative information.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, we got to.
It's educational.
And for the viewers and listeners, in the description box, you'll find. You popped in Miller Lite already.
Somebody just popped a glass of milk.
I know, right? Anyway, like I was saying, Joe.
Circus Master Juice.
All Bill's links are in the description box below. His website, Bill Boules, BOULES.com, as well as his Facebook and Twitter, so you can follow him there.
Absolutely. And Twitter's another place where I tweet easily 5 to 10 different things that are happening in the community per day. It could be something as little as just a comment that someone is making, or a news article, or just anything that's happening in the field. You'll see it on my Twitter feed, and you'll also see a lot of my smart ass commentary. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I like to do on Twitter that I won't do on Facebook Live. I'll do a little bit of politics, very little politics, but a lot of blindness and low vision related stuff. Stuff when I see people behaving well or behaving poorly, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on Twitter. You know what I mean? So.
Gotcha. Yeah, Twitter seems to be the place to go if you either want to vent completely or get vented on.
Oh, easily vented on.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. So.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to Intimately Blind. This first go back to your military days. You're a veteran. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Me?
And yeah.
I am not a veteran.
Oh, you're not?
No. I am not a veteran. I am a civilian that works for veterans. I work officially with the VA.
Oh, okay.
I am a civilian, and I get that a lot, by the way. Everybody thinks that I'm a veteran just because of the stuff that I do and the way that I talk about our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not a veteran, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that people, kind of think I am. I mean, I don't try to do that. I'm not going to steal valor and be gross about it. But maybe it takes the conversation away from, well, is he a veteran, to is he actually, trying to help veterans and work hard for veterans? So I kind of sort of appreciate it when people make that mistake, but I always try to correct them. So.
Well, you're still part of the service, man. So.
Oh, I love my people, man.
Yeah.
I love my people, and never in my life have I been treated better. And I mean this, by the way. Never have I been treated better than I have by the military folks that I work with, and the veterans and all that stuff. So I mean, it's always been like, I feel like I'm part of the team. You guys are like a fraternity, and even though I'm not officially in, you guys treat me like I'm part of it. So
it's family, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's even kind of cooler, I guess, because it's also another relation. Like I'm not. Well, I mean, technically, I guess I wasn't. I did attempt to go into the Marines, but after about a month, they said no because of medical. But my brother, he was in Iraq and Afghanistan. My first accessible technology client, he's a 27-year vet. So yeah, and I also help out with American homeless vets here in Sacramento. So it's kind of cool that we all have something to do with the military and the armed forces.
Like my feeling about it is, these folks took their time and their life and did this for us. Like if it weren't for people that went out, to fight for us and to do the work that we asked them to do, a guy like me very often wouldn't have the ability to do the things that I do for a living and to be successful and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My parents are from another country, and if I had been raised in that other country, I would not have what I have right now. I wouldn't have the skills. I wouldn't have the ability to be able to talk to people and get them to kind of understand blindness and understand how we do things. So I'm very fortunate. And I think it's a lot of the work that our military does that keeps that where it is.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
That's cool. Now I'm on your website, and for the visual viewers out there, it's on your screen. You can see this. I'm on where it says breaking down barriers. Can you talk a little bit about that? That sounds interesting.
So there's lots of barriers when it comes to blindness and low vision, and one of them is employment. There are barriers to employment. There's what society views as a person who is blind, and then there's what's actually a person who is blind. You look at what people think about us and believe about us, and usually they're not trying to be mean-spirited or anything like that. Usually they're they're trying to they're trying to be decent, all right, but they get it wrong. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. So, and those are barriers. Technology issues, when something isn't designed properly, that's a barrier. The way that we as a blind community communicate our needs, whenever we do it wrong, that's a barrier, So there's lots of different types of barriers, and so on the field of vision, when I do my show, I talk about all that type of stuff. I talk about the good and the bad, and the bad includes lots of barriers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I try to point that out as well too. Like every once in a while, I'll find a really good clip of some blind dude getting arrested on live PD, and people are like,
I love
what?
that.
Did you see that one?
I did.
Yeah. So
I did. He was strongly visually impaired.
Yeah.
And but hey, blind people go to jail. There are people when you work in the rehab field long enough, you're going to see more than once, more than twice, people that have a criminal record.
Oh yeah.
And there are rehab teachers that go into prisons too.
Yeah. Last I checked, there's 3 totally blind men on death row.
Oh shit.
Well, no. Excuse me, not death row. Life in prison.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Hey, and it just goes to show, just because you're blind doesn't mean you're a saint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I am, but
bad people come in all forms.
Right.
Yes,
exactly.
no doubt.
Exactly.
So, bad. That was all bad stuff. Let's try to keep it positive. I don't know. I like talking about both sides as well, because we need to be able to have point of reference and reference frames on how we go about doing our daily lives. Like you're talking about the whole education thing earlier. One thing Jason and I from Independently Blind were talking about last night is the perception that people have, and kind of relates to what you're saying about employment. What can they do? That sort of mentality. And sometimes,
what can they do? Read his resume, or read her resume.
Yeah. Eyes are broken, so that means
that's what they can do.
Eyes are broken, so that means your brain doesn't work either, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, read the resume. Like my resume is extensive, and I just got my first official job this past few months. So it's crazy as far as like when you get into an interview and all of a sudden the mood and the tone changes from the phone call, something's up.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of that, again, it has to do with, I mean, I'm sure they understand from some standpoint that your eyes are broken, but your brain works fine. Like they understand that. Mm-hmm. What they have trouble connecting is there's got to be a dot, like the dotted line that's connected between what your brain can do and what you can functionally do. Right. And I think that's where the disconnect is. I think that's where a lot of employers get it wrong. That's where they kind of, first of all, they don't have enough education usually, especially on things like assistive technology, because it's a fair question. Right. Like on merit, it's a fair question. How are you going to do X, Y, and Z that it says on your resume? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And so you've got to give them a conceivable way of how it can be done. You
Yep.
know, and I get beaten up a lot for those types of opinions because people are angry in this community,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
justifiably
Yep.
so. It's
Yeah.
justified.
I think
But
it's on part
yeah,
of that what you were saying about the perception as well. I think it goes on both ends. Like some blind people, a lot of blind people don't have a certain level of whether it be education or intelligence themselves to be able to articulate their position in life.
Right.
correct. Correct.
Right.
You can't speak for something that you don't know, and
Yeah.
so that's where the rehab system does a bad job, right? There's a lot
Yeah.
of people out there that don't know the things that are available to them, right? And
Yep.
it's not
Yep.
everyone, right? I know some amazing rehab counselors. I know some amazing, other rehab type people.
Mhm.
But I will tell you that there's so many clients in a caseload. Like the time is a big deal,
Yeah.
and it's very often that a lot of people don't know what their resources are. They don't know what their options are, and so
Mhm.
they come into it kind of blind. No pun intended, but they come into it blind,
A little bit.
and they don't have the answer. And
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
that's one of the areas where I think our rehab system fails people.
Yeah. Well, the way I was raised by my veteran father, uh, he was Vietnam veteran, and the way he raised me when I was a kid, you can't. He told me all the time, you can't complain about something if you're not willing to do the legwork to try to fix it. So if you're gonna sit there in the corner and complain and not try to help to change the problem or to fix the problem, then you shouldn't complain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have a lot of people in the visually impaired community that they want to sit in the corner and complain, but they don't want to get off their ass and help fix the problem.
Well, I think that's part of it, but I think on the other side of that coin, though, is we have a lot of rehab specialists in the field. Like we have people that work and earn money in this field who don't believe in the abilities of people who are blind. Right? That's my little
Pet
catch
peeve.
line
Yeah.
or whatever. No, it's my little tagline is
Yeah.
that I believe in the abilities of people who are blind.
Mhm.
And you'd be surprised. Well, maybe you wouldn't. It really depends on how much experience you have in the rehab system. But you'd be surprised how many people we have working and earning different, earning money, earning a high salary very often, that do not really believe in our abilities,
Right.
and it shows in their work.
Non-advocates. Yeah.
So, correct.
I like how when you well basically when you first get into like the work experience or the ticket to work program out here as it's called, they
Right.
pretty much will try to dictate where you're going to be employed. They don't really like to let you know that you can be self-employed or you can develop your own individual employment plan, for example. So once you start learning that, all the doors open up for you.
So when that happens, it's usually because they're kind of reading from a script, right?
Yeah.
They've been told, hey, you got to close X amount
Robots.
of cases.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got to close X amount of cases. It's not their fault. They're being told. Like a lot of times, when people complain about their counselor, for example, it's not the counselor's fault. The counselor didn't do it. The counselor is only doing what they're allowed to do and what they're being guided to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So very often, if there's a script there, the counselor's going to be like, all right, we got to get this person closed. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take them through this process that is the most likely to get us a successful closure, right? And so the counselors are just being told they're being told what to do.
Yeah.
It's management, it's the leadership in these agencies that needs to have, a broader picture of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am
Blind
vendor interpreter.
Blind Grillin is in the chat. Good to see you, sir. I hope you are healing up nice and good. I think it was just before Thanksgiving. Chris, he was in Blind Grilling. He was in a car accident with his daughter and fractured his wrists, I believe.
Oh,
but it's
man.
good to
Oh,
see
wow.
him back in the chat, sir. So I just want to give him a quick shout out.
Fractured both wrists?
Both
Yeah.
wrists, yeah.
Jesus,
That
man.
sucks.
It's not going to be
Yeah.
good for a sex life. Anyway. No, I'm kidding, Chris. Get better soon, bro. Get better soon. I'm just kidding.
My saddle.
He actually
waiting.
does. He does a lot of work with the Department of Rehab or Department of Commission Rehab, whatever they call it out there as well. He recommends those, what are they, green machine or green eggs or giant green eggs or something. Apparently they're really blind friendly, so he helps push those, and he also donates a whole package to blind veterans as well. So that's pretty cool.
That's sweet, man. That's
Yeah.
sweet. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
thank you for doing that. By the way, that's much needed for people, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. More, I think more. I always say if everybody gives a little bit, everybody gets a lot.
So here, let's give them a plug. Blind Grillin', everybody. Y'all need to check
it out.
Absolutely. Blind Grillin'. Thank you so much for what you're doing for veterans and for the community, bro. Very nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that people do that. Okay, so we kind of scratched half of the questions that I had in my head regarding your military experience. So let's go right into.
You might want to skip some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, ask him what do you do with the VA? What kind of work do you do with the VA, Bill?
So I'm the director of rehab for an office called the Vision Center of Excellence.
Okay.
And essentially, one of my goals is to help people transition to the VA.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's one of my many hats that I wear. But yeah, and we've also designed courses that professionals can take that teach them about all the different areas of blind rehab, including when people who are blind are looking to go to work. I recently designed a 2-part course in vocational rehabilitation, and that's a lot of things that I think we need to have our people know more about. You know what I mean? A lot of professionals like social workers, occupational therapists, people that don't ordinarily interact with the blind community. They need to know what this stuff is all about. So I've built a 2-part course. It's about 4 hours long, 2 and 2, and it teaches everybody the different steps in getting employed, like finding employment for somebody who's blind. So it talks about benefits like Social Security. It talks about, not in this order obviously, but it talks about Social Security. It talks about VA benefits. It talks about what you can do with your rehab counselor, like what your options are. And then it talks about all the different areas in blind rehab, like O&M, like what does an O&M specialist do? What does an assistive technology specialist do? And it's not, like you're not reading a textbook. It's not in that kind of detail, but it is a really good overview to help people really understand what's happening and how it can be done. Because your earlier question was exactly that. Like, you talk to employers, and how do you connect the dots between what it says on the person's resume and how can they actually do it? Well, this course kind of shows you that, Okay. So we do stuff like that.
Well, Bill, do you think you could get me and Whistler a job? We want to do valet parking. And,
there you go.
I don't know that.
My job pays way better than that, so I'm good. That's all.
There's some cars that have self-parking features, so you might be able to pull that off. I don't know. But,
yeah. When you drive them, you sort them out.
Exactly, bro. It's it's like that.
Yeah.
Hey, it can't be worse than being a cab driver, right? Have you been to like a big city like New York or DC? You would think half those guys were blind.
Yeah.
Like what? What red light? Red light. I didn't see a red light.
Yeah. When I was at the VA, the Heinz Blind Center in Chicago, last time I was there, we actually took a ride in a taxi to go somewhere, and it was maybe like 15 miles from the VA. And I'm sitting in the back seat, and this guy is driving like wow, crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you driving through somebody's yard right now? What are you? Weren't we just on the highway?
Nah.
And
just ran over some garbage cans. Not a big deal.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, you're blind, right? I said, yeah. He's like, well, how do you know where we're going? I said, because I'm not stupid. And you can't see where we're at. How do you know? I said, because I have a sense of, I have a compass in my head. I know which way we're facing,
Yeah.
And it's like he was going in circles because, like he was trying to run the meter up.
Yeah, they do that kind of stuff. that has happened. Thankfully, it's rare.
Yeah.
And especially with services now like Uber and Lyft, you don't see that as much because it's a fixed rate. Like you don't pay them if they make 30, circles around the block, you pay them for one
a destination.
Exactly, point A to point B, and so I think that helps a lot. I grew up taking cabs. I grew up in New York City, and I am a very frequent. I'm a frequent flyer, literally, with cabs, right, with taxis. And the minute Uber came out, and I was able to use Uber independently, oh my God, I will never ever in my life use a cab again unless I absolutely have to. If I go to a city where there's no Uber, that's when I might use a cab. But I was so glad to be done with cabs and cab drivers specifically.
Right. Well, when I use taxis now, whether it's Uber or Lyft, or if I'm in Chicago or wherever I'm at, if I need a taxi, I'll use Blue Square, and it'll tell me exactly how far we are from where we're going. So if they're going around in circles, it tattletales on. I'm like, dude,
what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? Why are you going around? Why are you going around the block again?
Yeah.
What is Blue Square?
Blind Square, Blue Square.
Blind Square.
Yeah, it's an app you can download it. It gives you like walking directions, or tells you like how many steps how many meters to your destination, and it's got like a GPS sync to it. I love it.
Yeah, and we got to give a big shout out to those guys too, man, because they've added so many features to that thing over time.
Yeah.
It is so packed with features that I think one of the problems is a lot of people don't know how to use a lot of the features. But they've done a really good job building that thing into something powerful. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I actually went to Heinz just to do blind. There's a couple other ones they were trying to push on me, but I liked Blind Square because it was more user friendly.
Absolutely.
Huh.
And it gave me independent to where I feel confident. I can go for a walk around the block if I want to, and I even use it sometimes to go to get the mail at the mailbox.
There you go.
So I'm not walking out in the middle of the street and get hit by a car,
That's it.
Yeah. Those assistive technologies are amazing, and they're just
when you look at things like Ira.
Ira
is one of my favorite things to come out, and a lot of people give them heat, but I love them. I love Ira, and so what happens with Ira is. That for those of you that don't know Ira, I'll be brief about it, but it's just it's a service that somebody halfway across the country is looking at their monitor
or world
or the world, but usually it's halfway across the country. A lot of those guys are in San Diego. And you could be in like New York City, and they're guiding you using the camera on your phone or in glasses. Like there's some smart glasses that they'll ship you. And they'll be able to see what you're supposed to see. And they are paid. They're not volunteers. They're paid. They're trained. Right? Those are two important things. They're getting a payment to do this. It's an actual job for them.
Yeah.
And they've been trained.
It's like It's like dispatch for the blind people. So if you get lost, you can like call Ira, and then they can see the video stream from your camera or the glasses they send you. And they can GPS your location and say, okay, well, you're on this street. You need to go about one more block till you get to this street.
There you go.
And then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks. Or if you're in the grocery store, you're like, hey, man, I'm trying to find the milk. Can you help me get there? They'll walk, keep going straight, and then you'll turn left to the
little to your left, little to your right. Exactly.
There it is. Yeah, keep going straight. Or, if you can't find your Viagra in the medicine cabinet, then you can.
They actually will help you with that, believe it or not. They'll help you. They'll help you like read the bottle of medication. So
I was talking to Tim Hornig about this one day, and I was like, I wonder what kind of crazy ass requests they get sometimes in the dispatch. What I want to sit down and talk to one of the dispatchers one day and say, what's the weirdest thing somebody's ever asked you to help them with?
Yeah, they unfortunately they will not talk about that. That is a highly problematic thing for them. They will never tell you, unless you're friends with one of them, which I happen to be.
It's got to be. It's got to be funny though. The stories they have.
Oh my God, dude! There's some amazing ones. What I will recommend to blind people everywhere is learn how a mirror works,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and make sure you're wearing clothes every time you're in front of it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just say that and leave it there.
Oh, man.
I recently did a story on how Target offered free IRA service for blind people in all their stores for the Christmas season, and they're looking to expand that for year round.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, already there's Wegmans, grocery store that does it.
Hmm.
You can go to AT&T if you're looking to get a new phone or an iPad or whatever. AT&T will do it. And then also you have what do you call it? That'll do it. Oh my God, they're gonna kill me. Rite Aid.
Right.
Is it Rite Aid? Walgreens. Excuse me. It's
Walgreens.
Walgreens that will do it.
Okay.
You can go to Walgreens anytime you want, and you can use IRA. There's airports that will do it. So if you need to change planes, there's certain airports that are available.
Mhm.
Go to their website and check it out. It's IRA, which is AIRA .io. So it's IRA, AIRA .io, and
Yeah.
that will give you all the info you need regarding IRA.
Yeah.
So, what would be the benefit of using IRA versus someone in an AT&T store to go over phones?
Half those people don't understand blindness and how
Right.
to actually,
Persist. Yeah.
like yeah, and by the way, there's also like times when there's a waiting period. You have to like kind of sign in.
Mhm.
Right.
And so the IRA agent can help you browse the store
Right.
while people are dealing with other customers because they're always understaffed and overworked,
Right.
So you can have people helping other customers while you kind of browse,
Hmm.
and then once you're there, you can talk to the store associate, no problem. You can hang up with IRA.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I wanted to sign up. I guess I heard from my VIS coordinator with the VA that I could sign up with IRA through the VA, and the VA will cover, I think, like 75% of the cost. I think like a monthly plan. They'll cover, the
Yeah,
VA will cover. So
I don't know much
uh,
about that. I
yeah, but
don't
it's
like that's something
pretty.
you'd have to
Yeah, it's
you'd have to
pretty
deal with
neat
that.
though that the VA's kicking in for the vets to use this service. And I wanted to sign up, but I wouldn't use it very often. It'd be a waste of money.
Well,
Yeah.
remember this: if you sign up, you can use it for 5 minutes per phone call,
Yeah.
like 5 minutes per connection for free,
Right.
right? So if you have a small task that you want to do, let's say you're walking outside to get the mail or whatever, and
Yeah.
you get disoriented a little bit, and you need them to help you get back on course. They can do that in under 5 minutes, and it's free. It won't cost you anything,
Right.
and you get as many of those phone calls as you need.
Uh-huh.
So if you need to hang up and call back or whatever, you can do that, and it's a really good service to have, especially
Right.
in a pinch.
Right.
Especially in the pinch. To all blind people who are listening to this, anybody who's blind or if you work for our field or whatever, you really need to try it out, and you really
Yeah.
need to keep it as part of your toolbox.
Right.
You got a toolbox has a lot of things you don't use every day, right?
Hmm.
So you may not use this every day. It might be like a you can consider it like a weird screwdriver, right?
Yeah.
But when you need it, it's there, and you just pull it out and go, hey, let me use this thing really quick, and it'll get me back on course. So
How, how is your
don't go ahead.
how is your experience with Be My Eyes?
It's okay, but you got volunteers doing it, so there's a privacy thing. Like you don't want to do anything that's too private, like have them read your account
AT&T,
statements or whatever. Like in your bank, it's good. They get good reviews, they get bad reviews. It is what
Yeah.
it is. But the difference is their people aren't trained. They're
Right.
just volunteers. It's some guy or some lady around the country who just wants to help,
Yeah.
and they sign up to be a volunteer, and it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it really depends. But they're not trained. They don't go through any kind of training. They're just
Right.
it's just a person who wants to help out.
What is
Yeah.
IRA's training like?
Multiple weeks. There's modules that they do. There's like on the job training. Like they take people through their paces, and they show people videos of actual calls that have happened. both good and bad. Like they're legit. They're
Like how
legit.
like how would you handle this situation?
Absolutely.
And there's a right answer and a wrong answer.
Look, and the truth is, I'm friends with a lot of those guys. Like I'm friendly with their management. I'm friendly with some of their workers. Um, again, they don't sponsor anything that I do. I talk about them because they work, right?
Right.
I don't take money from companies for sponsorships. I'm not doing that right now. If I ever do, I might, but I'm still going to tell the truth. Like that's part of the agreement, But yeah, I like those guys. I really do. And so yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Blind Grillin says, "Thank you all, and thank you for your service as well."
Oh, no problem. Um, what I was gonna say though, Whistler and I and a friend of ours, Riley Rose, has started a new idea. Well, actually, it was Whistler's idea, but we're kind of falling into place to help support this idea of his. We're doing. You want to talk about the awards
Oh,
with Bill? I don't think he knows about it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna have this show be about build, but I'll briefly sum it up. We're doing a Blind Accessibility Awards ceremony live stream, and from now up until December, we got a bunch of volunteer roles to fill as far as communications with developers, nominees, winners, that sort of thing. Social media people, research team people, to find all the accessible games on multiple platforms. That way we can provide the best resource plus the really fun live stream at the end of the year for gamers by gamers.
yeah. Well, what we're trying to do is network with other advocates to kind of get this thing, since it's the first year, to kind of snowball this thing and see what happens. And if it's as big as we think it's going to get, it's going to be amazing. So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, man. Like I'm a former gamer. Like I used to, when I could see better back in the day, I had some good usable vision. It wasn't great vision, but it was good enough. I'm a former Nintendo guy. I started playing Atari. Then I moved on to Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and then I got the first PlayStation. And then it all went crazy because my vision started, like I had a pretty, drastic loss in vision, and I wasn't able to do it anymore. I could do some of the games that you can still, even back in the day, I was using sound to determine what was going on in the game. Mm-hmm. But guys like you develop. You've got one game, huh? Yeah, you've got one game out there, and I think I was one of the first people to download it and take it through the first 2 stages, and it was fantastic, man. It really felt good playing that game, and there's a bunch of other games out there too, and it feels good to be able to play them. Mm-hmm. We just want more.
Right.
We just want more.
I'm looking
I
for.
think there's a lot of people hungry for more. And there's a lot of people that don't know that they're hungry for more because they haven't really gotten into it.
They haven't experienced it yet. Yeah.
They're so used to Blindfold Doggy or Dice World.
Yeah, and those are fine, by the way.
Yeah,
those are
they're
fine.
all right.
They're fine, but that's not where it should end.
It's not variety. There's not enough variety. Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't end there.
Me personally, I look for the more strategy, puzzle, psychological, intelligent games.
Yeah.
Action packed.
Yeah.
That too. I'm waiting for my blind version of Grand Theft Auto.
Blind version of Grand Theft Auto. That's awesome. Yep. You get like an IRA agent guiding you through the streets of like San Diego or something.
Yeah.
Like San Andreas. No, but it's cool.
Getting chased by the clowns.
Yeah. Independently Blind. The links are in the description box below, or you can go to billboules.com. That's BILLBOULES.com. And he's got his podcast schedule there. Social media links there. It's
hit
all
up
there.
Hit up blindrehab.com as well. It's the same thing. It's just easier to remember. It's Blind Rehab. Like BLINDREHAB, blindrehab.com.
Yeah.
Hit us up right there. It's the same website. You guys will you'll find a lot of the stuff on there pretty useful. I think we got tons of information on there.
Now I got to break some balls really quick. That's blindrehab.com, Jason, not blonde rehab.
Yeah, blonde rehab is something I don't think we can touch on this show.
It's
Blonde
kind of,
rehab.
it's funny whenever he does his show. Not whenever, but there's been a few times where he's mistyped it and it came out to be independently blonde.
Sweet.
Yeah. He's also asking, what is your eye condition, Bill?
RP.
RP. Okay.
Yeah, I have RP. It's retinitis pigmentosa. It starts out with night blindness. So when I was a little kid, and most people get diagnosed later in life.
Yeah.
But I was diagnosed as a little kid, like I'm in a baby, like 18 months old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it starts off with like night blindness, and then you start to gradually lose, your peripheral, and it turns into like what a lot of people call tunnel vision. Like you have central vision.
Yeah.
It doesn't always make you totally blind. Very often people with RP have at least a little something that they can see, and that's where I'm at right now. I think my eye condition has basically been stable. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years or whatever, but it's been pretty stable. So I'm I've lost a lot of vision though. I can't read text, like I can't read print. I cannot see pictures necessarily, which means I can't play video games, but I can play a lot of audio games and bring them on.
Come on, Bill.
You might want to
join the dark side.
You might want to check out the latest article I covered. It's talking about the new research in MACD, but they're talking about these stem cell patches that they place on the retinas that go to the place where they need to do its actual function for the retina, and they see great potential in a multitude of blind illnesses. So they're in human trials right now.
Cool.
Yeah, and we talk about stuff like that on the Field of Vision, man. You guys should join us. Anybody who's listening, 4 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday on Facebook Live, and we're going to be moving it to YouTube and a couple of other platforms. It is also available via podcast on Apple Podcasts or Google Play, anywhere you get your podcasts. All the different podcast platforms. We're trying to get in on as many of them as possible. This past Friday, I talked about social justice warriors.
Yeah.
I talked about how people in the blindness community have appointed themselves. There's certain people who have appointed themselves as representatives of the community. They've appointed themselves as these social justice warriors.
Oh yeah, I just called out one in one of our groups.
There you go. So I talked about the good and the bad when it comes to that. I talked about how to do it right if you're going to do it, and what damage it can cause when you do it wrong. So there were tons of people that joined us. It was a lot of fun. This coming Monday, we'll be talking about some other cool stuff as well. So just join us on Facebook, man.
Yeah, Bill said, "Be there or swim with the fishes."
I'll find you. Exactly.
We'll hunt you down and make you swim with the fishes over there. You know what I'm saying?
Swim with the fishes. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's actually sleep. It's sleep with the fishes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
Luca Brazzi. I told that to some guy was trying to help me. Some guy was trying to straighten my tie one time, and I look at him and I go, "What am I, Luca Brazzi? Enough with that thing."
He's like,
"You're choking me."
What's that about, eh?
Luca Brazzi. Yeah. So
Italian necktie.
For those of you that don't know, Luca Brazzi is a character in The Godfather who was basically strangled from behind with I think they used piano wire or something.
Piano wire, yeah.
But yeah, they strangled him from behind. So they call it the Italian necktie.
Do you know who strangled him in the movie?
I don't remember.
Danny Aiello.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I thought Italian necktie was when they cut your throat and pull your tongue out.
That's right. That is the Italian necktie. This was, I think, the original. I don't know. But anyway, they choked him out, killed him, and so the line was Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah.
So they dumped his body in the river or whatever. So.
Which is kind of odd that Sonny didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
What the hell is this? It means Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time. So if you guys haven't checked it out, if you haven't seen The Godfather, you need to. Especially Godfather 1 and 2. then you can take the DVD from Godfather 3 and set your drink on it like a coaster, because it is worthless.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's definitely not as good. That's for sure. I've got a great second channel called The Godfather of Blind YouTubers.
there you go.
It's all comedy. It's all parodies of other blind YouTubers.
Sweet. I don't think I want to become a blind YouTuber then.
Yeah, blindy.
That's all right. We'll figure it out. It's fun, man. I love talking to people. I love talking to the community. So
Yeah.
it's always good.
Good times, good times. Well, Bill, last
man.
words. What do you got to say?
Nothing. Just join us on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We go live from anywhere from a half hour to an hour. It is interactive, so you can join us. You can join the conversation. Write whatever you want in the thread. I respond to people.
Mm-hmm.
You can give us ideas for shows to do. But it's fun. It's fun, and we kind of sit down together as a community every weekday.
Nice.
And we have a good time. So join us there. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. I don't have an Instagram account, sorry. But yeah, and blindrehab.com, ladies and gentlemen, it's where it's at.
Oh, what assistive
Boules.
Jesus, Joe. What assistive technology do you use?
VoiceOver. I use Apple products, so VoiceOver, which is built in. I am, because I'm an older guy. I'm not the youngest guy in the world anymore. I just had a birthday yesterday. But
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
sir. But yeah, so I use JAWS. I'm still a JAWS user because
JAWS
it
junkie.
is what I learned. It's what I'm comfortable with.
Right.
I have messed with NVDA a little bit. I'm not a Mac user. Like I haven't gotten comfortable. It's not that Apple is doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's just
You're so used to JAWS.
From a comfort level. I'm just so
Right.
used to JAWS that I haven't had time to jump in and fully take control of the Mac and use it for all my personal stuff. I can show people the Mac and teach it, but I can't use it on an everyday. I just don't have that comfort level with the Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I obviously use all the other, like Apple Watch. I use that kind of stuff. It keeps me well grounded with my workouts and whatnot. And I'm into all sorts of audio stuff, like headphones and speakers and all sorts of jazz.
Yeah. Nice. We will let the chat throw any last questions in if they've got anything. Other than that,
throw them out if you got them. Let's smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you
If you
got
have any
them.
questions, throw them at me.
Yep. So 4 p.m. Eastern every day. Well, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's the Field of Vision.
Field of
Go
Vision.
to blindrehab.com. You'll see links to all that stuff. Also, you'll see an article that I did with PC Magazine. You'll see a news clip that I did with Canadian Television last February?
Yeah.
You'll see a couple of articles written about me in like local newspapers and whatnot. So yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff on there.
Right on. That's really cool.
I'm forgetting something. Who knows? But anyway, I've done a bunch of stuff.
Nice. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Keep being a great advocate, my friend.
Oh, thanks, man. I love you guys. All right.
Take care, Bill. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. Much appreciated. That was Bill Boules. We'll just do Blind Rehab.
Boules.
blindrehab.com, and again, all the links are in the description box below, or you can just go to his website. Everything's there. The podcast, his Facebook, his Twitter, all that great stuff. We want to thank Bill for coming on today. It's been a blast. So, yep, until next time, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I'll hang out for a minute or two in case there's anything left in the chat. But until then, take care.
All right. Later, dude.
Peace out, Joe.
I'm going to go sleep with the fishes.
Go sleep with the fishes, man.
Later.
Take care. Wah wah. Wah wah wah. Wah wah wah. Wah wah wah. Oh, Buster.